Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. We did a live stream last night at about 10 p.m. It is now 11 a.m. so it's been about 12 hours since we last did an update here, and we do have a lot more news to discuss. The news is coming in very, very quickly following the acceptance of spot Bitcoin ETFs, so we've got a lot to discuss today. Please make sure before we get into that though to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. This is just the start and things are going to get a lot crazier over the next couple of weeks. So prepare for that. Make sure to tune in every single day on these live streams at 11 a.m. Let's see what's going on in the chat this morning. Good morning PG, good morning Rob, good morning Florin and Chris and Rob all in the chat this morning. A new crypto dawn, Rob says. Double hero, says Jason. Let's check if there are any problems here. Please let me know if there are any problems on today's stream. It should all be running smoothly. I'm hoping it's running smoothly. Let me know if there are any problems with the audio there. I've tried to fix what I can. Let me know if there's still a problem though, and I'll see what I can do. Let's take a look at what's going on first of all in there we go. Maybe this is better. Oh no, that sounds like it is. There we go. Is this better? Let me know if that's better. Let's see what's going on in the prices for cryptocurrency right now. So we have Bitcoin up 2.6% within the last 24 hours. Ethereum up 10% within the last 24 hours. And Solana up a nice 6%. So we are seeing big moves there for Ethereum and a lot of altcoins as well. Now we will be discussing why later in today's stream. But first of all, I want to discuss what's happening with these spot Bitcoin ETFs, why we are all so excited for today, and what possibilities there are for today, because I know that a lot of people were quite disappointed with the lack of movements in the markets yesterday, myself included. I was hoping to see a really strong move to the upside for Bitcoin off the back of this news, and unfortunately we did not see that. So I will be discussing what I'm expecting for the rest of the day and what bullish news we have for the rest of the day, because I don't think this is over. I think this is just the beginning. And I also would like to point out that spot Bitcoin ETFs weren't just an event that could be bullish and push us to the upside in the short term. This is a long-term huge gain for the markets. Now, we've spoke about them a lot on here, but I would like to highlight the three major reasons as to why there is a huge potential for upwards momentum following the acceptance of these ETFs. So the ETFs are exchange traded funds, and essentially you'll be able to trade the fund, which is just a basket of Bitcoin, like you can any other ETF or stock. So there's a huge advantage here because it means institutional investors can get involved into Bitcoin without having to learn and worry about self-custody and their investors. It means retail investors now have easier access to cryptocurrency. And it means that a huge amount of these big companies are going to be marketing Bitcoin as an investment asset. Now, we've already seen a huge amount of adverts coming out from Bitwise within the last couple of weeks, but we are going to see this ramp up a whole lot more. So we've already seen a lot of competition between these issuers of these ETFs, between BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck, all trying to lower their fees to be more competitive when it comes to the markets, because they're expecting a lot of demand, and with that demand, they want to be the best. They want to be the best product on the market. How can they do that? They lower transaction fees. Now, we've already seen them be lowering the transaction fees within the last week or so, and it has continued right up until the last second. So we are expecting a lot of demand to be entering these ETFs, and with that means these issuers need to be buying up that Bitcoin, and that will push the price of Bitcoin up. In fact, Bitcoin is pumping right now. If we pull it up on the screen on the 1 minute chart, I've got it up on about 5 screens in front of me again. You can see we are pumping on the 1 minute chart. We are about to retest that $47,000 level. Hopefully we see new cycle highs today. That is exactly what I want to be seeing. I did anticipate on yesterday's stream that yesterday, yes, we didn't get that bounce that we wanted, but maybe when the markets open today, we will see that move to the upside that we were all expecting yesterday. But nothing is financial advice here. We don't know what's happening here. We just need to be taking a look at the news, and it does look particularly bullish this morning. So I would like to discuss the reasons why. First of all, I would like to show you Kathy Ox dropped a new Bitcoin ETF commercial. So as I just said, the most bullish thing about these ETFs is that we have institutional investors entering, a huge amount more retail investors entering, and we have a huge marketing competition between some of the biggest companies in the world where they're all trying to push their Bitcoin ETF to the top of this pile to show that their ETF is the best one out there, and they want to get as much money in their ETF as possible, so they're going to be marketing this like crazy. Now, we are in a time where we are going to see BlackRock start marketing Bitcoin. This is something we've never ever seen before, and I'm sure you all know the impact this can have on the markets. This is absolutely insane. I have never been so bullish on Bitcoin right now. If we take a look at what's happening in the markets here, let me set this up so you can hear what is going on the computer. Let me change this around, and then I will play this video for you. Let me know if you can hear this all correctly.
When it comes to Bitcoin, aren't you just a little bit curious? ARKB, regulated, direct access to Bitcoin, available through your existing investment account.
So that is just one of the adverts for Bitcoin ETFs that we have seen within the last couple of days. We've seen a huge amount of ETF commercials coming out of Bitwise in the last couple of days. And as I said, there's going to be huge marketing campaigns from these massive companies within the next couple of days, weeks, months, and even years. All of these companies are fighting to get as much money as possible into their funds. That's why we've already seen them all slash their fees. And we are going to see them market these like crazy. Now, if you don't understand the impact BlackRock marketing Bitcoin would have on the Bitcoin price, I don't know what will make you realize how bullish this is for Bitcoin. If you this is just more ammunition to prove that Bitcoin is sticking around and is here for the long term. It definitely legitimizes cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and that's something that's really important and something that we have wanted to see. Paul says in the chat, watching this unfold yesterday, what an absolute joke the SEC are. Let's discuss what happened yesterday and how this all unraveled. While we do that, let's put Bitcoin's 1 minute chart up so we can all see what's happening here. Bitcoin's had a little bit of a rally since 10 a.m. this morning, exactly as I predicted actually, before we get onto that news. So as I was saying in yesterday's stream, on Monday this week, we saw a huge pump to the upside because it was approaching the 10th of January, the date we were all waiting for. And on Monday last week, we saw the exact same thing happen. So when this ETF news came out yesterday and we didn't get the news we were hoping, we didn't get the reaction in the markets that we were hoping for, we did get the news we wanted. I was saying, look, I am going to hold on here and see what happens when the markets open tomorrow, because now the markets are opening. I think this is when that volatility is potentially going to hit. But let's talk about what happened with the SEC's announcement here. So it was a complete disaster. If you remember, a couple of months ago, we saw Cointelegraph tweet that all these ETFs had been accepted. That was false news, but Bitcoin pumped massively off the back of that for a split second when we thought that news was true. Then we got fake news again when the SEC's Twitter account got hacked 2 days ago, and somebody falsely reported on the SEC's Twitter account that ETFs had been accepted. Off the back of that news, Bitcoin pumped for a short period of time whilst we all thought it was legitimate, and then it came back down again when we realized it was fake news. Now, by the time we got that third announcement from the SEC, a PDF went live on the SEC website, and then it went offline. The SEC website crashed, so nobody really knew if it was legitimate news or not. So by the time the actual news came out, that was the fourth time. People had been burnt 3 times. Liquidations had happened 3 times. A huge amount of money has already been lost off the back of people trying to trade these ETFs because of all the fake news we have seen so far. So by the time the actual news came out, the volatility was lacking in the markets, the excitement was lacking in the markets, the trading volumes were low in the markets. So what's happened here is we haven't really seen too much movement. We saw people getting wicked out, but there wasn't that big moves that everybody that was anticipating, they didn't arrive. So a lot of people are saying this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I wouldn't even call it that. It wasn't a sell the news event. Bitcoin just went sideways. It wasn't even that. It was just sideways action. And I think it was just, we needed to give it a little bit more time and let the markets open this morning. And now we are starting to see some volatility, which is brilliant. Let's take a look at what's happened here. So what the SEC actually said on their announcement was, Statement on the approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. They created an announcement from Gary Gensler himself and posted it on the SEC website. They essentially said, we have chosen to launch these products because basically you can buy cryptocurrency now. People want to buy cryptocurrency now, and not all of the ways you can buy cryptocurrency currently are exactly how we like them. So you can see in this article or this letter, public letter, you can see the SEC have said that products will be listed and traded on registered national securities exchanges. Such regulated exchanges are required to have rules designed to prevent fraud and manipulation, and we will monitor them closely and to ensure that they are enforcing those rules. The Commission will fully investigate any fraud or manipulation in the securities markets, and they have said that let's find it. Traded and will benefit from the disclosure public notes. Today's action does not endorse. So you can see here, investors today can already buy and sell or otherwise gain exposure to Bitcoin at a number of brokerage houses, through mutual funds, on national securities exchanges, through peer-to-peer payment apps, on non-compliant crypto trading platforms. So they're saying, look, investors today can get access to this product already, and we're not fully behind the way that they're doing this. There are non-compliant exchanges out there. We can't see a reason as to why we should stop these ETPs, so hopefully people will invest through our exchange traded funds and will move away from those non-compliant crypto trading platforms. So they're saying, look, investors want to get exposure to this. We don't particularly agree with how current operations are and how you can currently get exposure to the markets, so launching this alternative is a better way to protect investors. Now, at the end of this, they have said that they in no way endorse Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So they put a little note at the bottom, as expected. We all know the SEC aren't a huge fan of cryptocurrency, so we all knew there was going to be some sort of negative note at the bottom of this acceptance here. You can see, I'd note that the underlying assets in the metal ETPs have consumer and industrial values, while in contrast, Bitcoin is primarily a speculative, volatile asset that's also used for illicit activity, including ransomware, money laundering, sanction evasion, and terrorist financing. So a very negative twist on a very positive article when it comes to cryptocurrency. We couldn't have expected Gary Gensler to do any less. We all knew that was going to be somewhere within that article. But really positive news that we have seen the SEC accept these ETFs. We've been fighting for them for years now. They've been rejected over and over again. So it's really positive news there. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the cryptocurrency chat today. Boris is saying hello all the way from the Philippines this morning. Good morning, Web3 Spud. Actually, Web3 Spud is going to be back on these live streams very, very soon. So those of you that were watching the live streams through December would have seen Spud taking over the channel for a couple of weeks, and he will be back here on the channel very, very soon. So make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news and you don't miss those interviews that Spud is going to be having with some key players in the markets very, very soon on this YouTube channel. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. J-Man says, I feel like someone who knows a crypto could easily search for whoever made a lot of money on that fake news with the leverage long or short. I think they should be investigated to see if they were hacked. There is 1.8 million Bitcoin as liquidity to buy out there in exchanges. So as time goes on, the amount of Bitcoin available on exchanges is going to go down, and when supply goes down and demand even just stays the same, the price is going to move to the upside. Thankfully, we are seeing a really nice movement here. Let's see what else is going on. Big guests coming, says Spud, and David Jr. says, hello, love from Toronto, a place I've never been and would love to go to. Let's take a look at what's going on in the cryptocurrency news today, because although we all know how bullish Bitcoin ETFs are, we've got some even more bullish news coming in today. Bitcoin is currently trading at $47,100. Very nice moves here. Let's take a look at what's going on here. The commissioner, UED, expresses concerns regarding spot Bitcoin ETF approval. So we do know that not every commissioner in the SEC agreed with this approval. In fact, if we pull this up, you can see this was the overall vote for the ETF within the SEC. Gary Gensler actually voted that the ETFs should be approved. We did see 3 of the 5 Bitcoin voters approve approve the ETF with 2 rejections there. There are still concerns within the SEC around these ETFs and what these products are for consumers, but overall we won. It was a win. I'm so glad to see this news pass because it would have just been a long road ahead. The cryptocurrency community was not just going to stop there and admit defeat. It would have been lawsuits, it would have been so much more volatility, and it just would have been so much more long-winded. We knew these ETFs were coming. It was a matter of when, not if. We said that over and over again here on the channel, and we were expecting some positive news here yesterday. We weren't doubting that. So really pleased to see that outcome yesterday. Let's see what else is going on here. So I want to talk about the ETF first before we move on to some other stuff. First of all, biggest news here in the markets right now is Bloomberg predicts $4 billion will enter Bitcoin today through the Bitcoin ETFs. Now that is today, and that is why I am expecting some bullish volatility in the markets when the markets do open. Now we are already seeing that pre-market is, we've seen in the pre-market BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is trading up 23% there. So people are looking to get into these ETFs today. We are expecting a huge volume of people trying to enter these ETFs. They are launching today. The SEC approved them yesterday, and all of these issuers have had their products ready to go live as soon as possible. So they are all launching today, and hopefully we will see some nice movements for Bitcoin off the back of that. But this is just the start. I would like to highlight here, I think we should slowly run through the reasons as to why this is so bullish. First of all, in a bull market, when people that don't know what cryptocurrency is want to get into the cryptocurrency space, there's a barrier to entry there when it comes to centralized exchanges and self-custody, because they need to do a lot of research to decide what centralized exchange they want to use, what self-custody is. And there's also a layer of fear now because of what happened with FTX and how much it was pushed in mainstream media. So having retail investors, them having the opportunity to invest in an ETF like they invest in any other stock is really beneficial for the space, and those who may have shied away can now get that exposure to the industry very, very quickly without doing all of that research that they do not want to do. So there's a huge opportunity here in the next bull market that we will see a huge amount of retail investors getting involved in the space, a huge more compared to if this product was not live. We also can look at institutional investors, so we could see a huge amount of institutional investors getting involved in the space. We've also seen a huge amount of funds already change their documentation ahead of the SEC approving these products so that they can get exposure to Bitcoin through Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin futures ETFs, through Bitcoin trusts. A lot of funds that are registered as securities already have changed their documentation so they can get a huge amount of exposure to the Bitcoin industry because they are bullish on what's to come here. Third of all, we have the marketing. I've mentioned this a couple of days in today's stream. All of these companies are now competing to get as much money into those funds as possible. How can they do that? They can lower transaction fees, which they've all been doing. They've all been trying to compete and get the lowest fees so they can be the most desirable products. And they're going to market these like crazy. And we've already seen in today's stream a advert from ARK. We've already seen a number of adverts from Bitwise. All of these companies want to get as much money in those products as possible, so they need to market these like crazy. So we're going to see the biggest asset managers in the world try and publicate and market that Bitcoin is actually an asset that maybe we should be investing into. This is going to be absolutely insane. Also, if you take a look at what happened with gold when an ETF launched for gold, the bullish long-term effects were massive. There's a huge opportunity here for Bitcoin. If you invested in Bitcoin before this ETF, I applaud you. This is a game changer for the space, and we managed to get in before this. We front run BlackRock. That is crazy. We've also seen a tweet from the president of El Salvador. Let's see if I've pulled this up. I don't think I've pulled this up here. I will try and pull this up immediately on today's stream. Let's pull this up. El Salvador president here. Let's put that in. So we've got El Salvador president has said, so we got in way before BlackRock, and he put that on Twitter today. So really nice to see there that El Salvador have managed to benefit off this Bitcoin move and proven that this was right all along. I really think that these ETFs, they're super bullish for the markets, but they really bring a layer of legitimacy that we've been missing in the space for a long time. As I was saying in yesterday's stream, just a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, we were fighting to not get Bitcoin put in the same kind of container as gambling. Now we're seeing BlackRock and other asset managers launch ETFs, which adds a huge layer of legitimacy versus 6 months ago where we were fighting against losing legitimacy. We've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other. This makes Bitcoin such a more legitimate product in the eyes of investors. So many people look at cryptocurrency and get very concerned about it. They stay away from it. They shy away from it because they think it's a scam, a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, the rest of it. But it is not true. And with this legitimacy coming from BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck, and all of these really high-profile asset managers, we're going to see people second guess their opinions there and say, well, if they're investing into it, why do we, it can't be that bad after all. Maybe I should be taking a look at this. This is honest, I can't explain to you, this is the biggest change that I've ever seen in cryptocurrency, and we are going to see this unravel in the long term. Although we didn't get that move to the upside yesterday, that volatility that we wanted, this is a long-term play. That short-term volatility would have just been a bonus. This is the most bullish thing I have ever seen in cryptocurrency, and this is a game changer for cryptocurrency. If a bull market does not come now, I will be incredibly shocked, especially when we have that Bitcoin halving arriving. 22nd of April was the latest prediction I heard, but it will fluctuate slightly dependent on how the blockchain, basically it comes every 210,000 blocks. A block is created approximately every 10 minutes, but it fluctuates slightly, and then the days can fluctuate slightly. But as we get closer, the estimation gets a lot more concrete. But right now we're looking at the 22nd of April for a Bitcoin halving. And that typically does trigger a bull market. So hopefully there's really good things to come in 2024. Even looking back at 2023, we're up like 140% for the year. And we're all screaming for more. So hopefully we do see some more positive things in the markets this year. This is just the start, I think. Let's take a look at what else has been going on here. So we did see Hal Finney's tweet was exactly 15 years ago yesterday saying running Bitcoin. And that was known to be the first tweet that mentioned Bitcoin ever. And that was 15 years to the day before the SEC approved those spot Bitcoin ETFs. You could not time it. Let's see what else is going on here. Move over Bitcoin focus now shifts to Ethereum ETF deadlines. We will be discussing that in just a second. Oh, here's the tweet from the president that I was looking for. Let's talk about this, because although Bitcoin didn't have that volatile move to the upside yesterday, Ethereum did, and so did many of the altcoins. Let's pull up some altcoins here. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. The stream is doing incredibly well this year. We've had more viewers than ever. We've had more likes than ever. Yesterday's stream was probably our best yet. So make sure to help us grow the channel as much as possible. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Let's take a look at some altcoins and how they've performed here. Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart here. Sorry, that was the 1 hour chart there. On the 1 minute chart here, it's had a tiny bit of a pullback, but overall, we've just seen a massive surge to the upside there. Hopefully it holds. And then we're at 1 p.m. when the US markets open, hopefully we do get some more volatility entering the markets. Let's take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum reached another high for this cycle once again. It reached $2,650 there. Again, it's having a small pullback there, but overall, it's been super bullish since that news came out yesterday evening. It came out at about 10 p.m. So let's pull this up. Wednesday, 10 p.m. This is the candle where we found the news out. Ethereum is up 6.5%. Now, if you compare that to Bitcoin, you can see that is very significant. Bitcoin is up, is this 10 p.m.? 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Where are we going to find it? There we go. This is the 10 p.m. candle. So Bitcoin is up 2%. And if we take a look at what happened between Ethereum and Bitcoin, you can see there was a sharp move to the upside there. Ethereum massively overperformed compared to Bitcoin. Very shocking to see this. As I said, a lot of us were anticipating that we would see Bitcoin have that huge amount of volatility, but instead it entered into Ethereum. Now, why is this the case? I think if we're looking at this, you can see a lot of people are looking and hoping that Ethereum ETFs are around the corner. A lot of people have seen what's happened to Bitcoin within the last couple of months, and they're saying, look, great, these ETFs have been approved. What's the next thing? What's the next thing that's going to get this approval and have that bullish momentum? That's Ethereum. We've already seen ETF applications for Ethereum from massive asset managers, so they're looking at that as an opportunity. Now, off the back of that, Ethereum's performed well, and altcoins have performed well as well. If we take a look at Solana, you can see that is up massively. This is on the daily chart. If we pull up to the 1 hour chart, you can see this has performed very well within the last couple of hours. We can also take a look at Polkadot, which has performed very well here. moved significantly to the upside off the back of this news. It was trading down at these levels here, and then off the back of this news we saw a 13% increase. Let's see if Chainlink pumped up, because this is an interesting one. I was discussing this yesterday. There are lots of little small details that you can notice in the cryptocurrency markets, and if you notice them, pick up on them and act on them for a set period of time, you can make a huge amount of money. Eventually these things kind of stop happening and the patterns stop, but while the pattern is there, it's important to take advantage of them. One pattern that I've noticed here is Chainlink is performing well, but just a lot slower than the rest of the altcoins. So for example here, Chainlink eventually did reach a high of 7% increase last night, but it was very, very delayed. When we were on the stream yesterday, Solana was up 5%, Solana was up 8%, Polkadot was up 8%, all the altcoins were pumping. Chainlink was still down, it was only up by 3%. When we next checked in, it was up to 8%. So Chainlink was just lagging behind when it came to that bullish volatility, and that isn't the first time this has happened for Chainlink. Chainlink was stuck under a massive level of resistance for a very long period of time, while Solana and other altcoins were performing back towards the end of last year. So with this pattern emerging, I want to be taking advantage of this. If we see altcoins starting to pump at any point in time and Chainlink doesn't have that same volatility, that's a bullish signal for me. It's a second chance to get into the markets when we're seeing altcoins pump if it's not seen that significant move that the others have seen. And there will be other altcoins out there that see similar patterns, something I like to take advantage of, but it depends on the scenario at the time. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. Let's see what's going on. Jason Smith said Ethereum Classic went on a tear and it still is. So glad I bought it. Let's take a look at that. So USDT there. Let's put that in and see where it is. It's absolutely soaring right now. If we take a look at the 1 hour chart, you can see this is absolutely crazy. We've seen such big momentum here. If we take a look at what's gone on since 9 p.m. last night, up 43%. That is absolutely insane. Congratulations, Jason Smith, for getting involved in that and investing into that. That is a very nice move there, and hopefully there's more to come. This is just the beginning. If a bull market is coming in 2024, we will see crazy gains like this every single day. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Before we finish off today's stream, I want to show you the Crypto Saving Expert merch store, because we've not been through this in a while. If you do want to get any crypto-based merch, make sure to check out cryptosavingexpert.com. We do Ethereum socks, Bitcoin socks, we do beanies for the cold weather, we've got caps for the hot weather if you're based out in Australia, we've got mouse mats, we've got air fresheners, we've got the works. If you want any cryptocurrency merch, make sure to check out cryptosavingexpert.com and click on that merch store. News has just come in. GBTC has completed its transition into an ETF, first spot Bitcoin ETF to trade in the US. So big news there. That is breaking news right now. Let's check out what's going on with Bitcoin here. BTC USDT. Let's pull this up on the 1 minute chart. Hopefully this means we'll see some sort of bounce here. The markets really haven't reacted to this as big as I wanted, to be honest. Hopefully we do see some big news as big volatility when the markets open in America at 1 p.m. But we really don't know right now. I wouldn't call this a buy the rumor, sell the news event, though, because nobody's sold. Bitcoin's up. It wasn't a buy the rumor, sell the news event. It's just a lack of volatility, a lack of trading volumes. But hopefully we do see some improvements later on in the day, and we will be back here to report on that at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure to stay tuned till then. Hit the bell notification button, like and subscribe, comment today's video, engage with it as much as possible, share the stream with your friends. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all back